Pre-ordering Tuesday, where we discuss the latest pre-orders for the new Athearn announcements for the month of May. I'm your host, Jim Wigan, and if you like the content that Athearn brings you on a weekly basis, please feel free to like and subscribe, comment, and hit the notification bell. That way you're notified every time a new video like this drops into our YouTube channel. In this video, we're going to be talking about the Athearn HO scale IMPACK spine cars. Now, these were very important rail cars in their day, so if you're modeling the 1980s up through the early 2000s, you're going to want to take note and pre-order these before Friday, May 24th. Now, the IMPACK, which really stands for Intermodal Package Spine Car, was designed to carry 40 to 45-foot trailers in 4 to 10 unit sets. Now, the cars were based on a 1978 built Santa Fe fuel foiler 10-unit design and were in fact license-built copies produced by ITEL starting in 1981. ITEL produced the cars in 3, 4, 5, 8, and 10 car sets, depending on the customer specifications. In addition to the Santa Fe fuel foilers, IMPACK cars were owned by Burlington Northern, ITEL Corporation, Cotton Belt, and TTX Corporation. With the introduction of the 48-foot trailers in 1985, many of the IMPACK cars were rebuilt to include the length for the new 48 trailers. These IMPACK cars would continue to run throughout the 1980s, into the 90s, and of course into the early 2000s. Most of these saw their end of service come to a halt in 2015. We're pleased to provide, once again for pre-order, the Athearn HO scale IMPACK spine cars. Now, the one that you see on your screen now, this is one that we previously released a few years back. This one is not available anymore. They sold out quite quickly. But you may be lucky and find one of these on an online hobby shop or even your local hobby shop. And if you're interested in this model, this is item number 15669. Again, that is Athearn part number ATH 15669. Now let's talk about what we're going to be releasing for pre-order for the month of May. Of course, Burlington Northern was a user of the IMPACK spine car, and we're going to be offering 2 road numbers for the 5-unit set. Again, these are 5-unit sets, painted and lettered for the Burlington Northern as they appeared in the 1980s. We're going to offer 2 different road numbers per Burlington Northern. Coming up next, we are going to also offer the 10-unit set of the Santa Fe fuel foilers. Now, the reason why they called them fuel foilers is because these spine cars were significantly lighter than flat cars that were being used at the time. And since these were in dedicated service for the Santa Fe from Los Angeles to California, they were a dedicated train. These were much lighter than the traditional flat cars. And because of the way the trailers were loaded and subsequently how they were on the spine flat cars, they had very good aerodynamics to them. There wasn't as much drag as associated with some of the other containers at the time. We're going to be offering 2 different road numbers for the Santa Fe set. Again, this is 1980s era Santa Fe, and this is a 10-unit set. We're also going to include the trailer train 5-unit set, also in 2 different road numbers. So again, if you're modeling the 1980s into the 1990s, you're going to want to add these to your roster. Now let's talk a little bit about the features of these models. Now, as I was saying earlier, these are perfect for the 40-foot as well as the 45-foot era trailers that were common in the late 70s into the 80s. Even though the 48-foot trailers came out later, they still would see revenue service right up until about 2015. Now these, like the prototype, will include 28-inch solid nickel silver wheels with RP25 contours. That way they operate on all popular brands of track. And one thing that our product development team did want to let you guys know as operators, For reliable operation, we suggest running empty cars in dedicated trains or at the rear of mixed trains. Highly detailed. These are great models under the Athearn brand, and they also have a hidden die-cast metal weight system, kept low, nice low center of gravity, so that they operate with or without trailers without any issues. Of course, these are painted and printed for realistic decoration. Everything that we're showing you this month did indeed operate on these railroads. And the minimum radius for these, believe it or not, is 18 inches. So whether you are a Fremo modeler or some type of modular type modeler, or you're lucky enough to have a layout large enough to have these on your layout, you'll still be able to negotiate an 18-inch radius. Now, if you want to read more about the IMPACK spine cars and how they changed the freight industry as well as other piggyback and container traffic, I suggest you pick up the Kalmbach book, Piggyback and Container Traffic, written by Jeff Wilson. Now, this book can be found at your online or your local hobby shop through Kalmbach. And while you're there at the hobby shop, you might want to go ahead and do your pre-order for these new Athearn IMPACK spine cars because you only have a few days left. May 24th, that's a Friday. So go ahead and contact your Athearn dealer now to place your order for these cars. One more thing before I go, if you haven't gotten the information yet, we do have replacement body shells for the Amtrak 46 units. Take a look at our social media feed. We've got instructions on there on how to get your replacement shell. If you purchase one of the Amtrak 46s, part of the 50th anniversary of Amtrak, you may know that the 46 was off-centered. We have since repaired that, and if you were affected by this, you can go to athearn.com, select the Contact Us tab, and follow the instructions that we've given on our social media feed on how to go about getting that shell replaced. That's all I've got for you this time. Again, I will see you next Tuesday. Until next time, everyone, I hope you do some modeling, get out there, get some rail fanning while the season is really nice out there. And above all, high greens. Take care, everyone.